Hello, and welcome to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Alright, just before we get into the stories, remember to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified of all future uploads. On with the first one. I screamed bloody murder in a store to get a Karen to leave me alone. One day, I was shopping at the local Walmart and had my headphones in. These headphones are incredibly nice and a gift from my parents. I had just gotten off work and was in business casual khakis and a plain grey polo, no logo. Nothing to indicate that I worked at Walmart. I was looking in the freezer section for some ice cream for dessert that night, when someone yanked my headphones off my head and they fall on the ground. Cue Karen starting to yell at me. I have been trying to get your attention for 5 minutes. You shouldn't be listening to music while you're at work. How can you help customers if you can't even hear them? She screeched at me. Now I'm seeing red. If she damaged my headphones, there was going to be hell to pay. I leaned down to pick up my headphones and I say to this crazy bitch, don't you ever effing touch me, you crazy bitch. I don't effing work here, you stupid jerk. Touch me again and I will scream so loud the whole store will hear. Don't you talk to me like that, I am a customer, she said as she grabbed my bicep to haul me to the manager like a child to be punished. So I let her have it. I screamed the loudest scream I could possibly imagine. I actually lost my voice for the next day because of it. It startled her so bad that she let me go and dropped her purse. Not even 20 seconds later, a manager comes running with the security guy. The manager demanded to be told what was going on. I told him this crazy bitch assaulted me. She tore my headphones off my head and grabbed me. I feared for my life. A complete embellishment. So I screamed. By now we have an audience, and the manager takes us both and separates us. Luckily for me, a very nice woman was a little farther down the aisle and saw the whole thing, and told the security guy what happened and backed up my story. The manager asked if I wanted to press charges and I told him no. I just wanted my ice cream and wanted to go home. He told me to take it, it was on him. As I was leaving, I saw this crazy bitch getting thrown out of the Walmart by the security guy and being told to never set foot in that store again. Lady gets pissed, I can't help her feed her starving children. Screw it. I'm bored. I've got one of these to tell. I used to work at this Christmas wreath place. I was in charge of cutting down trees and throwing them in the back of a pickup truck in -20°F, mother effing Wisconsin. The work was fine, but obviously that meant wearing like 3 sweaters, gloves, boots, the whole getup. One day, when I was driving to work, I decided to stop by this one store I like to go to. They had really good off-brand Red Bulls and I was going on about 30 minutes worth of sleep. As I'm walking over, sleep deprived and pissed off, a woman in her 40s cuts me off looking equally pissed. Woman, where are the graham cookies? I stare at her dumbfounded. Hell if I know. Me, no idea. Woman, well, can you get somebody who does? Me, no. And that set her off. She looked like the red booba from the kids show in the early 2000s. That was, and still is, the absolute fastest I have ever pissed someone off. She told me about how she's been here for over half an hour and how her kids are waiting at home starving. Really? And how much of an idiot I was and how she wanted to speak to my manager, and this is when I realized, this crazy bitch thinks I work here. People at this point are staring and I'm done with all this. So as soon as she stops for breath, I interrupt her. Woman, I don't effing work here. And suddenly, her entire demeanor changes. She stutters and looks at me all confused. Woman, oh, I just thought, aren't you going to the freezer? Me, what? I'm just trying to buy some drinks and go to work. She immediately looked embarrassed, which I gotta say, was pretty damn satisfying. Woman, well, you look like one of the people who work in the freezer, so I thought you were an employee. Me, no, bitch, Jesus Christ. And that was it. I just kept walking. Still pisses me off how she literally switched personalities as soon as she realized I wasn't an employee. She could yell at me with no repercussions. Retail is messed. Look sir, I do work here, and I am the boss. I'm not sure if this belongs here, but I have a story that is the exact opposite of I don't work here lady, that I felt would be fun to share. About 5 years ago, I worked at the International Center of a university in the US. To give some background info, I am an Asian female, 5'1" in height, and though I was in my early 30s at the time, I did still look quite young and was often mistaken for being in my early 20s or late teens. My main job responsibility at the time was the recruitment, training and management of about a dozen international student interns who worked the front desk. Anyways, we had been swamped that AM, so I hadn't had time to go out to eat lunch. I got a sandwich at our campus vending machines and sat down in the break room. The break room was always cold due to the AC blasting through the room, so I put on a comfy university jacket I kept at my desk, just to wear during break. I kept the break room door open to keep an ear out for the front. I let my interns know that they could still pop in and ask any questions they want. I had hired a couple of new students that month, and they were still learning. A few minutes later, I heard a man's voice yell something along the lines of, "No, no, no, you do not understand. You are stupid. Stupid." The childish outcries exclaimed in a grown male voice made me immediately stand up and rush to the front desk area without even remembering to take my jacket off. The man was literally wagging his finger at the intern and yelling while almost comically stomping his feet. I interjected his tantrum and introduced myself as the intern's supervisor. gave my name and position, and told him I could assist him with the issue. The man immediately looked me up and down, scoffed a short no. He then turned right back to the intern and asked her to call the supervisor, as he needed to ask someone who actually works here, not just some young girl like the intern who sits there in the front repeating nonsense. It wasn't my first rodeo with unnecessarily angry students, so I calmly gestured at my intern to step away and planted myself directly in front of him. That made him change his rant towards me, saying, "Listen, I know you Chinese want to help each other, but my issues are, so I need to see your supervisor." Supervisor? Call him, and he can sign my I-20. Yes, both my intern and I were Asian, but nope, neither of us were Chinese. And I hate when people enunciate when speaking to me. My thoughts often immediately go to English is my first language, moron, as is evident by the fact I just spoke to you. Also, it pissed me off that he assumed the supervisor would be male. I did my best to remain calm, however, and confirmed the issue. "Oh, so you're here to get an I-20 travel signature? If you go online and submit the form, you will." "No, god damn it, you don't understand," he screamed. He then proceeded in a rapid rant saying that I must get a real staff member who actually works there, instead of giving him the same instructions again, because he needed his sign now. Because he wanted to go out of town tonight, and surely the school didn't want to make him, a student who pays such high tuition, to have to come back on campus just to get a signature before he leaves the country after his road trip. "Do I know how much money he gives to the school?" he asked. "Do little girls from China even understand how expensive his luxury trip was to book?" he wondered. "Get the man who can actually help him in here," he demanded. More background info. University students in the US on an I-20 visa need an upgraded signature on their form every once in a while in order to travel abroad and get back. Now, I hated it when entitled students asked me for expedited services just for convenience. Many students actually planned ahead and made their requests on time, and it wasn't fair to expedite the process of whoever asked the loudest. I was actually the one who had the power to approve very limited last-minute travel signature requests, due to the real emergency situations, such as a family emergency. But obviously, this guy and his luxury vacation wasn't going to qualify for expedited service just for being a D-bag. I raised my hand and put my palm out in front of his face for a second to stop his rabid, ongoing rant. "Again, sir, I am the supervisor in this area. Now let me continue. And I hear your issue. My intern here has given you the instructions for the I-20 signatures already, but you want expedited service, simply because you don't want to have to come back to our office another day to pick it up, yes? Okay then, no. Let me continue. Unfortunately, that cannot be arranged, so please go home and submit the online form like all of our F1 students and wait 2 to 3 business days for a response." He started to speak again, but I put my hand out immediately to stop him, maintained eye contact and picked up the phone. "Also, sir, if you do not leave immediately, I will be calling the campus security to escort you out of this building for harassing me and my staff members. But before you go, just so you know, I will be noting in your form that you're missing X days from school. Note that you must maintain your full-time student status for your visa, as you've kindly told us of your planned weeks of absence. Please be ready to submit documentation of why this was an excused absence from your classes. Lastly, do not insult my staff again, or you will be banned from entering this office again." He stood there, stunned for a few seconds, then started to say something. But then I proceeded to dial the number on the phone. I couldn't remember campus security extension, so I was actually pressing random numbers. And so he ran out. This may not have been the best solution ever to a yucky situation, but this was actually the first time I kicked a student out of the office. So I was a bit shaken up about it. The best part of the story though is what happened next. My boss at the time, a white female in her 40s, walked in a few minutes after and asked me to come talk to her. I thought I was in trouble for some reason, but she actually asked me instead if everything was okay, because she met a rude international student outside. Apparently the rude man had run into my boss outside, and he had asked her if she happens to know who is the boss of the girl in there, and if she knew how he could talk to him. My boss had said that she was the supervisor of the woman who works in there, and asked if she could help. The man apparently then said something along the lines of how she then needed to find him the man highest up the chain because his issue demanded real work. He was rude enough that my boss actually did call campus police to escort him out of the campus property. She told me that next time, the moment he raises his voice, I do not need to even engage him in conversation, but can just kick him out immediately, as he was forewarned that this will happen next time. Let's hope for her sake that asshole doesn't study there anymore. I'm not a client here, lady. This happened over 10 years ago, but reading all these stories made me remember this horrific experience. It's not exactly retail, but I think it's worth telling. As a high schooler, my school made you do a work study day. Super mandatory, I thought I could do a work study at the job I already had, vet's office. But found out the day before that that wasn't allowed. Luckily, my dad was able to get me into a shadowing position at some branch of his company. I show up and I'm put into the care of Veronica, the program director. I'm supposed to shadow her working for the Adult Community Outreach Program. Homeless services, healthcare services, mental health services, the works. Veronica is immediately very irritated. She has to babysit me. Tells me to go clean the bathroom and shower. No. and they are used by the shelter residents, so double no. Leaves me with a questionably safe male client in the lobby, mostly wanted to talk about the Order of the Black Sun, thankfully. Insults my intelligence, makes me sit in on a caseworker's counselling session with a client, where I get to hear the riveting story of how he jumped the fence and broke his penis. And I was basically treated like garbage the entire time. I couldn't figure out why until I asked her to sign my form saying I put up with all this shit. V. Sure, take it back to school. It's not like you're going to pass anyways. I don't even know why they let you kids into shadow here. You'll all just end up as adult clients in the end. Then I realize, oh shit, she thinks I'm shadowing here as a client of the youth version of this program. As I stand there, dumbfounded, holding my form and pencil out, she glances out the office window as a car pulls up. V. Oh great, why is he here? Me. Who? V. Sean, that hard-ass moron of a CEO. He's always on my ass about something or other. Sean is my dad. I let her drone on and keep insulting my dad alongside all of their youth clients who I'm feeling really effing sorry for. And I wait until my dad walks past the reception and is walking towards her office. Me. Daddy! I run up and give him a hug. Dad. Hi kiddo. I turn around to face Veronica with the biggest shit-eating grin on my face and watch her go ghost white. Dad. Did you have fun today? Me. Uh-huh. My dad thanks Veronica for letting me shadow her and we go to the car. I immediately go full tattletale mode like a effing 4-year-old because holy shit woman, the kids from the program are shadowing you because they want to choose a career path to help others like themselves. And you treat them like that? What the F? Veronica works at a hotel now. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like down below and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!